have a question about the hero image or whatever that thing is called.
Okay, and then Mary Jo,
What,
you'll be
like,
next.
when would you use that? And I don't quite understand what it means.
Yeah, let's go over it. I'm just going to jump into our demo site. So I probably have something that is already using a hero image like this here. And
Oh,
sorry, I didn't get rid of that YouTube video, but this is one example of how a hero image will come up when the content item appears in a list like on your front page or like in the calendar or articles list, any place like that. It will show a thumbnail version of the hero image. And then clicking through to the actual item, this is the other option or display of the hero image. And so we have two hero images essentially. When we go to new draft, we not only see, I think it's called main image, but that is the same thing
yeah.
as hero image.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So hero image just means that it is at the top of the page. And so we just renamed it because we didn't want any confusion between the alternate hero image. And the difference there is
Oh,
if you have a main image, let's say I want to have the alternate hero image as the LWV logo. That alternate hero image of the logo would show up here on the actual big section. Why don't we actually just go through it? I'll
yeah.
show the demonstration. So we
Right.
saw
Okay.
how the main image works. If we just have the main image in there, it shows up in two places.
Hmm.
If I add an alternate here, I'm just going to add anything. So we'll first add it, and then I'm going to, well, with either option, if I had just the main image or if we're doing both here, I have the option to just not display a hero image. So I could still have, the main image as the thumbnail in lists, but if I don't want it to show up big at the top of the page, I could turn that off by just checking that.
Oh, that. Okay.
So I'm going to leave that unchecked because we want to see how the alternate hero image comes into play. So I do need to, I believe you have to publish it to see it since we're working with the hero image there. So that's what we see at the top of the page, but let's go back. I think I had it on the front page, clone of sample event, it's called. There we go.
Hmm.
So that's
Okay.
still the thumbnail because it's still the main image, but then this is what we see as the alternate hero image.
Hmm.
Do- Does the original hero one show up further down?
It does not when we're looking at it, but let's
Okay.
go back to the list. It's promoted to the front page here, and this is the same one, and this is the original main image.
Yeah.
So it only shows up there, and then clicking through, then we see the alternate only.
So not that I would want to do it, but is there a way to show both on the big page, like where you are now?
You would have to add it into the body. I'm going to go to the
Okay.
home
Okay.
page and get rid of this because it's really getting in the way. But any other question, Mary Jo, about that?
I don't think so.
So,
But one thing I use sometimes is if I want my banner on the full page to be more like a banner, but I want the little thumbnail on the list to be a square. I have two different versions of the same content, but different aspect ratios. One's a banner and one's just a little thumbnail. So I have to use both the main image and the hero image. Does that make sense to people?
I'm gonna come on over to your site. I think it does because it sounds like um you want a smaller, 150 by 150 and then or something along those lines, and then the longer kind of narrow or wider, shorter image for the actual hero.
Exactly.
And I can see, do you have an content item in mind? that you know of.
I mean, you could just take part of that boo image and make it,
Right.
just make a thumbnail for that.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work,
I'm
though.
not following you.
So I'm trying to see if I can find. Do you have an
Well,
example in mind,
I-
Liz?
I've been getting kind of lazy and not doing them,
I
but
might have
but
one.
you can have it's basically the same sort of content, but you just try to have the dimensions of it be more consistent with the page or the list.
So I have somewhat of an example. It's not going to be as what I'm imagining as nice as Liz's is because, well, I have the difference in sizes. So this is obviously 225 pixel wide, 100 pixels high for a thumbnail. And then when I click through, instead of having something more sleek and shorter as Liz was describing, I have what's kind of our typical slideshow size. But this is just the idea of you can have images that you create specifically for the top of the page, and it doesn't have to also display when in a list here. Because if we had a banner type of image that goes wide across but is pretty short, it would be hard to decipher from this thumbnail view.
Well, I definitely have an example of that because I've been getting lazy.
I can pop back over here.
If you go down, keep going. Let's see. Yeah, now look at see the productive conversations.
Let's see what that
When it
looks
gets
like.
made, so it looks nice there, right?
Yeah.
But when it's made into a thumbnail, it's not very easy to read. So you might want to make a version of that is more square. You can see how lazy I've been because most of these now are just taking the hero or main image. If you go further down,
It is definitely a bit more effort there.
This one, see how bad that is when it becomes a thumbnail? You can't really read it. So that's if I were spending more time on it, I would have made a version where it's more square.
And sometimes you can get away with making the square version, the thumbnail one, not as detailed because it's going to be smaller on the screen. And also it's a good practice to know whatever written information you're putting in the image, you want to make sure that that is in the page somewhere, because that's just for accessibility. Alt text will, help with accessibility, but in case anyone doesn't have the access to that image, we want to have the writing elsewhere for them to be able to take it.
Okay, so I got confused as we were going through this.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do, so the little thumbnail that shows up on the list on the front page, that comes from the main image.
Comes from the main image.
And if I want to have something different on the actual page, like on the event, if you went back to where do I put that image or make it? Because what I've been doing is I just put in a main image and then it's really big on the event page, which I don't like. And then it shows up nicely. So how do I get a nice small thing on the event page, the actual event page, so it's not taking so much space? How do I do that?
Okay.
Do I use the alternate hero image?
Yes, but it also depends on your image. If it is a large image, it's going to take up the width. If you know the dimensions of your image when you've uploaded it and it's a smaller one, then that's how it's going to display.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, your other option, because I'm having the same issue. If I didn't want this to display as large, the other option would be to use the body. The only downside to that is that it would display under the location and register for this event information.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to get around.
So
Okay.
maybe if the image itself is giving you issue, like where you're adding it into alternate hero image, maybe try editing the image outside of MyLO, like in Paint or
Mhm.
Canva, just to resize it
Okay.
and see if that gives you more control over how it displays.
So if you have your main image, which becomes the thumbnail,
Mhm.
you can create the alternate hero image, which will show up on the page.
On the page itself, correct.
Okay, and I don't have to click anything.
No, once you add those two images in there, they're ready to display in that way.
And then if you click the box, do not display a hero image, then you would just have the event name without any image. Is that correct?
Right. On the page itself, it would just go straight
Oh,
to the
okay.
location
What does that
and all
look
that.
like? What does that look like?
Let's check that out.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I was just-
No,
this is good.
these are good demonstrations. So it's straight plain to the information. Let me go back to the home page. And we still have
Okay.
the main image.
Okay.
And that's going to be the same if we check that box, whether we had that alternate hero image
Okay,
in there or
gotcha.
not. So.
All right. Oh, this is so, okay, this is excellent. I feel like it's, I've already gotten the benefit.
There you go. Yeah. Sometimes these they may feel simple, but it's like it's easy to just go over them and not, realize the true, I guess, power there. So I'm glad
Thank
that you asked
you.
the question for sure. Mary Jo.
Yeah, that was very informational. Thank you. I know you talked to us about this before. I was in the media library and I saw all these things. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta get rid of these. And so I did go and look at. There's a video on the media library,
Mhm.
and I don't remember it telling me how I can delete them. I know that you told us how to do it.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
can go
not
through
like I
that.
can just right click and delete, I don't think.
Unfortunately, not that easy, but it isn't too hard. The good thing is, you don't have to go through one by one. You have
Oh,
so
excuse me for interrupting. So I did try to go
I clicked on manage files here.
manage. Okay, manage. Oh, that is not where. Okay, I was going through somewhere else. Okay,
You
manage
may have been
file.
going through the same place that I did, the
That was where I
administrator
was
league menu.
going.
Okay,
Yeah.
same destination, but you can
Okay.
reach it from either your
Okay, that's where I
administrator league
went.
menu or the MyLO homepage.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if you're looking to completely delete, the operations up here will allow you to do that.
Okay, now how did you get to just your stuff?
That's where it lands to automatically when you click on manage files.
It does. Okay, because it goes moving around. Okay, all right, thank you.
And you can double check that too. When you click on it, make sure that at the top it should say manage my MyLO files, because there
Right.
is a way to click to view all. So you click view all and then the title will change.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. Oops.
Yes. Hi, I'm Mike Schnabel.
Oh, I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm
Sorry, I will catch you next, Mike. Thank
sorry.
you.
I thought you were I apologize.
Sorry, I was getting distracted. A phone call was coming in.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
gee.
so no, I was trying to silence
But
it. That's why I was distracted. But okay,
I'm sorry. I just want to interrupt while we're still on the other topic. So if you're in view all files, you don't want to delete any of those because they belong to somebody else,
you
right?
don't have the ability to. That
Okay, good.
yeah, that operation is gone there. So the view all files allows you to just mainly search. So this is another way if you wanted to dive into the media library and find what you need to use, then you can copy
So they're
the title.
It's alphabetical. You can't look at the media library itself and and look at the picture and say, I don't need this, I don't need this. You can't do that.
No, so you can't go through the entire library, but you can go through your own files. So
No,
coming
no,
back
that's what
over.
I meant.
Okay,
But
yes.
you're saying that they list alphabetically. So I would have to know, oh.
No,
well,
they will list by most recently uploaded.
Oh, because that's not what I just saw. Okay.
I
all
was
right.
at the view all files.
Oh, sorry. All right.
But
Thank
now
you.
we're back to manage my files.
Okay.
So let's see, I'm trying to
Thank you.
think which ones I can delete. I can probably get rid of one of these. Okay, I'm just
Oh,
gonna get
all
rid of a
right.
couple of these. So I'm just checking the box for whichever ones I'd like to make a change to. I just
All right.
selected two, and up here in operations, I select delete and execute. It's gonna ask me to confirm, and it gives me the image name or file name, and we confirm.
Okay.
And then it lets us know that that's done. So those are completely gone.
Okay,
If
so
it
you
were done,
deleted them and even though they were in one place,
correct.
so that means they're no longer anywhere.
Right. If some other person were or other league were using them, if you delete completely, then it does remove it from their use as well.
Okay,
So
thank
that's
you.
one thing to be aware of, and that's where you can check. Before you delete, you can always take a look at the stats, and it tells you where it's being used now or historically. And that's the other thing that you want to keep in mind too, because it's keeping a historical record. Sometimes it may not be true that they're currently using it, you know. So these 3 places may mean that it was there previously, but take a look at these and see if it's being used now. If it's not, then you're, you know, safe to go ahead and delete those. Any
I
questions
have a
about
question
that?
related to that
Yeah.
point. So I noticed, I'm new to this, but I noticed that I can upload things to like a whole LWV or just like my LWV.
Mhm.
And is there a reason why I would do either of those things?
Yeah, so when there are your like league specific items, that's when you'll definitely want to upload it just to your own, because it'll be available for you to choose from and any other webmasters in your league to choose from. We try to encourage the use of sharing it to everybody. If it's like, let's say, a free image, a free stock image that you're making use of and anybody else could use. So it's just about promoting sharing if you're, you know, able to, and the image itself is pretty generic to be able to be shared with any other league. Any other questions about?
Okay, just to be clear, so
Yeah.
my files are the ones that Mary Jo did.
Mhm.
And then the league files are ones that Mary Jo, or in this case, Jennifer did.
Yes, and when we talk about the league files, you aren't actually able to access them in this way that we can access my own files.
Right.
So there isn't any risk of deleting, let's say, if Jennifer uploaded something and Mary Jo, you're going in and deleting files, you're not accidentally deleting something that Jennifer uploaded. You're only going through what you yourself have uploaded.
Okay, I'll try it out. And in answer to Anna, so the things I want to get rid of are meetings that happened 2 weeks ago that I had a picture for. You know, that kind of thing.
You're just trying to get rid of clutter. Is that why you want to remove them?
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for that, Mary Jo. Okay, Mike. Thank you for waiting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm new and I'm still trying to go through all the introduction stuff, but
For sure.
I've been playing with the join and renew.
Mhm.
I figured out how to get the PayPal information in there for both individual and household membership.
Awesome.
But when I hit cancel or continue shopping, it does not come back to my league site. It comes back to my MyLO online, and you know, you pick your
The
state.
homepage itself. Yeah. Okay. So that
And-
does typically happen. PayPal tries to find the homepage, but because of the way our URLs are set up, PayPal just sees my.lwv.org and stops there. So it assumes that as your homepage, but we can force it to be exactly where you want folks to land. So let me see if I can open up a PayPal account and demonstrate this. I'm not sure if I have the same access that you might.
And this looks familiar.
So far, so good. Because the difference would be that y'all are managing PayPal business accounts. I think I have mine registered in that way, so
Yeah,
I'll cross
ours
my
is registered
fingers.
as a business account also.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning
Okay.
PayPal today for the first time too. Today.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you're learning it today and you have buttons up already, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, as of 2 hours ago. How's that?
Okay, so it does look like I am having the same interface. So I'm going to drop this links. I'm at paypal.com/buttons.
Yep.
If you already have buttons created, you're going to see view your saved buttons up in the right corner. So we go there. I'm not sure if this is going to look exactly the same as your interface.
So far, so good.
Okay.
It does.
So we go ahead and open one of these.
Yep.
And we edit button. Coming down, it's actually going to be a ways down. Optional settings here. So under optional settings, we have customize your checkout pages. And here return URL and canceled checkout URL. So that's where you want to make sure you enter an address for both. Again, PayPal is just dropping folks at the MyLO homepage because that's what it's picking up automatically. But you can have, the same place, you just have them land, anywhere, or you can create a specific page for each experience. I would recommend that for canceled checkouts. Returns, it might be nice to let them know that it was successful and they landed back to the site because it was successful. But that is, I would more recommend that at least the cancel checkout, because you might be able to catch them and say, what went wrong, but you have that option there under customize your checkout pages.
Okay.
And then you would update the saved button and go through the same steps that you did previously to paste this code into your MyLO page.
Okay. Yeah, because I did that and I copied the code back in, but it still came back momentarily to my home page, or the pages I directed them to, but then it flashed back into the generic one.
Oh.
It went right by it. So maybe we can do that offline or something.
Do you have the buttons up? I can test out at least the cancel
you go
checkout.
now. Yeah.
Mike, what is your league?
League of Women Voters, BCC.org, Berrien County. That's it.
Thank you.
Oh,
So join or renew. Okay, so let's
Either one.
check out.
I just got that one to work today, so that was good. Now, if you just say continue shopping or see, then okay. Now you got it.
Okay, so it looks like the continue shopping is kind of like a cancel. Yeah, it definitely should. And you've made the edits to your button.
I thought so, yes. But
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
gonna-
double check that. It is odd though that it's pausing at, oh, well, no, it's pausing at the original join or renew page, I guess, because it's taken a moment to reload to here.
Yeah,
But
it's actually first goes to the correct page I want it to, and then it jumps to here. All right, I'll go back and check the code. Maybe I copied and pasted it wrong.
yeah, just double check and let me know. We can troubleshoot it, as you said, offline if needed.
All right. But I got to, well, I'm getting close though. Thank you.
Yeah, you are, for sure.
Maybe in the 4th hour I'll know more.
I have a bunch of questions.
Yes.
So let's see. So I'll start with, well, just more like a general question for the rest of the group here. we are trying to figure out like the membership piece of our site. And so I guess my first question is, how many people use the members only part of the website that has content just for members? Only one person. Okay, two people. Okay. My question is about how you manage like getting people in and out that can then access the members only content. Do you know?
Well, I don't understand. What was the question?
So, what are for you use the members only content? Can you hear me or am I breaking up?
I think it's going in and out. What I can tell you is that we post a lot of stuff on the members only site, like minutes and newsletters and stuff. The problem is getting people to register. And I don't think I'm 100% clear on how that happens. I know that when we get a new member, I have to add them and all this stuff. Originally, you can get like an export of all your members. Jennifer knows a little better, but that's our biggest problem, is just getting people to to do what they need to do and at least try it out. Was that your question?
No, I
Yeah.
think it's like when people don't renew.
Other yes, like people
When-
in, but also removing them.
Yeah,
Oh,
it sounds
so-
like just the process of maintaining and
Well, just
managing.
make them inactive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all you have to do
Yeah.
is make them inactive.
I have to add that to my list of what to do when somebody doesn't renew. I forgot about that.
So I guess that's the question. I was wondering if anyone had a good process for like once a year you go through and remove people, or the time, or if anyone had like a documented, like this is how we manage membership access. Doesn't sound like that's the case.
I mean, knowing leaguers, there may be one. I would recommend also posing this question to the Google group too, since there's a whole lot more folks that I guess attend there than we have in our meetings here. And so you might have a larger audience to pull from. And I know that there are others that typically attend that manage their members only as well. So you could catch them in the group. Because I would imagine
do
that
that.
some league has to have some bit of process to get this.
Yeah, how do I get access to that Google group?
Oh yeah, let me add you now.
Well, and the thing about it is, as Mary Jo said, getting people comfortable, it's the same people. And most of them are lifers. So, we only have maybe less than half of our membership who access.
Well, that's good to know that if we get that much, it's normal. Okay, great. Yeah, I'd love to be added to that.
Yeah.
I have other questions, unless someone else has one. I don't want to take all the time.
Go for it.
Let's see. Okay, so when I looked at my list of members, let me go look at it again. There were 3 different categories. So there was active, what was it? Active or blocked. And I didn't know what all
Yes.
those 3 things mean.
So I'll start with the inactive and blocked. Those are they essentially function the same. So for the user, they would see no difference whether they were inactive or blocked. They have no access to your league site. So they would still be able to log into their MyLO account. But if they try to, when they go to reach your, let's say, homepage or any other page in your site, they're first off, they're going to see the members only in the menu, but they wouldn't see any content on that actual page or feed is what we call it. The inactive and blocked is more for your own housekeeping. It would allow you to keep, I guess, 2 different lists of users. As Jennifer had said, you don't have to completely remove users. You have the option to remove them from the group. But if you wanted to just hold on to them in case if they ever came back as a member, you could just reactivate their account. So making them active is allowing them to, let's say, come over to my demo site and I see members only. I'm gonna see if I can masquerade as a different user. So sorry, I'm kind of jumping around because I'm trying to think ahead. So I'm masquerading, and that's just as if I'm logged in. I'm logged in as a user of the demo site. So I obviously see it in the menu and I can see the content that feeds into this page. But let's try if I masquerade as anybody else. I'll try one of you here. So Anna, let's go with you and see what that gives us. So although Anna is an actual, MyLO user and belongs to a group, she doesn't belong to the demo site group. So because the MyLO user account exists and is active, that is the reason why we still see the members only menu item. Because if I were just a general public user and I don't have any access to this members only site, or page, I would not even see this menu item. But since I am, masquerading as Anna now and have this actual MyLO user account, but don't belong to this group, we just see essentially an empty page. The only thing that I would see if it were, edited and had made changes to, I would see here, because this is like the header, the intro to the page. So that is visible to the public essentially, or if they have, not to the public, but if they have a MyLO user account. And to note, anyone who comes in can technically sign up for a MyLO user account. Most folks aren't doing that, but it is available. So keep sensitive information out of the header. That's just my recommendation there. But that's what it would look like for folks that are inactive. I actually can't remember if they may not even see the menu link. So they might even be even more restricted. But if they do see the link, then they would definitely not see any content on the page.
Pending.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. But what about pending? The pending status.
Oh, the pending. That is what I meant by inactive, because I don't think we have an inactive role or status. So yeah, pending and blocked are essentially the same to the user, but you, as far as kind of administratively, see the difference.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, Maurice.
Oh, and then also, Mary Jo, were you going
Well, I was
to
just
say
gonna
about
say,
new users?
doesn't pending mean something? Does that mean like it's waiting for me to do something? So if somebody tried to do something on their own to
Yes,
try
that
and
is
join?
true. When, like I said, folks can come in and create their own account. If somebody comes in to register, they can click to create a brand new account. After they fill out the form at the very bottom, they have the option to choose from a local league, and you aren't just immediately as a league thrown onto this list. You do have to actually say from your homepage, make a change and say, I want to be shown up on this list. I'll show you where that's at. Oh, I forgot, I logged out. I'll show you in a second. So if somebody does create a new account and they say, choose from whichever local leagues here, that does create a new user or member in your list, but they are pending. So again, they are technically inactive. They cannot see the members only content. But as Mary Jo said, they're kind of as a to do. But as pending members, again, they don't have access. You don't, just because they're there doesn't mean you need to give them access. So adding your league here is first your decision, because you won't automatically be here, and then second, I would just say keep an eye on your members list if you do have that enabled.
Okay, so 2 questions. So is that alphabetical? Is that an old one? Because we should be on there, right?
It is alphabetical. It starts out with the local leagues first. And I would imagine your league has not made that change on your homepage.
I don't know what you mean on my homepage.
So let me log back in.
Because I know when we first decided to do that, we told you we were going to do it, and you said you would do whatever you needed to do. I don't know.
So I uploaded members.
Right, I know that.
But as far as making that change to your homepage, that would have been something I wouldn't have done myself.
Well, I wouldn't know how to do it. I mean,
But I mean, it depends how you work. If
Yeah.
you add every new member yourself, then you're in control of things.
Yeah.
But if somebody decides to make a register, which
Yeah.
doesn't really mean much if you don't have members, but if they register, then they would have to be able to choose your thing, but you don't work that way. You're the one who adds them, so it's probably not as relevant to you.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and especially if we went through the initial bulk upload of members, that
Mhm.
definitely took away the need for a lot of them to have to come in and request. And then as Liz said, if the process ongoing or moving forward is as you gather new members, you enter them manually, then you wouldn't need to have them be able to request.
Okay, so Susie Smith joins our league,
Mhm.
and Mary Jo forgets to do, this thing, adding them to the list, okay?
Mhm.
And Susie says, "Oh, I wonder if they have a members only." So I don't know where she would go. Maybe nowhere on our page.
If she were visiting your page, let me open up
How
another
about my
browser.
account? Or
She wouldn't see my account because she wouldn't be logged in.
right,
But
there's something else there
let me
that
show you what it looks
instead.
like when you're logged out.
Yeah.
Okay. So she would see a login, it would obviously be empty. And then register, I would imagine
register.
is what she would go for.
Yes,
So that again, you do have to manually change. So coming in, I'm going to show you where you can make the change. So coming into your home page, making a new draft of that, it's going to be under the advanced settings. So scroll down to advanced settings and it's under group register. So this is the register page. Would you like to show up on the group register? And by default,
okay.
every league starts out with do not show.
Oh, all right.
And so once you make that change, just do publish so that can stick true to the registration page.
I mean, is there any negative to doing that?
Again, it doesn't give anybody immediate access. I would say that, again, anybody can register and request. So you might possibly have some members that you're just like, who is this?
Or you mean somebody in the public?
Yes, like that is possible. But again, they're not having any access to your site.
Right. No, I get it. But
it's just kind of gunking up your list possibly. So you can even test it out. You can, before you announce it to members, you can just maybe show yourself on the registration page, see how it is for maybe a couple days a week. If it is too many requests in that time, then it's probably not the way you want to go.
Thank you.
But if they just register and they don't have that option to choose you, they're sort of out, they're there, but you have to search for them to find them. They won't show up in your list. So they're in this purgatory that
it is a bit of a purgatory because they're kind of just floating in between. But the good thing is we know how to bring them down and bring them to our group. Before we only were able to rely on searching by username, and that was really hard because if Susie Smith has created her own username. I don't know that it's doglover98. Like I can't pull that out of anywhere, but I know her email address. So now we're able to search by email address or username. So coming down to the
Yeah,
very
there's the one,
bottom,
yeah. Yeah, do
it's
I
in
have
the,
any? Where would it say pending? Because I have to go to each page, right?
it would be here. So this is the
Right.
status.
But I have to go to each page. Okay.
Yeah, you have
So,
to go
oh, that was
through
my
each
other
page.
question. So I don't get a notification, apparently.
There aren't any notifications.
All right. That's
Mhm.
important. Okay.
But
Maurice,
yeah,
yeah, I have a question. Since I missed the first half hour, I guess I was sitting in the waiting room.
I'm so
Um,
sorry.
Yeah. When you had that advanced thing for showing on the registration page,
Mhm.
what registration page are we talking about? Are we talking about what we're looking at right now, or is it something else?
It's
Or
this
is
one
it
here. So let me show you how I
okay?
got here. When I'm logged out, and it might actually not work because I'm logged back in that window. Coming back here, or actually I could just work from this page. Sorry. So when you're logged out, or any general public member come in to visit MyLO, they see the login bar and they can click register
Mhm.
and click I want to create an account. So they
Right.
fill out the form, and then at the very bottom, the very last option to choose from is their local league membership. So they can check the box, and once they submit or create their new account, then what this does is registers them as a pending member. And I don't know why it says that a notification will be sent, because we don't have that. It is definitely not true, and never actually was. So I don't know why that's there.
Aspirational.
I think, yeah, we were reaching for that. So then once you as a webmaster or any webmaster on your team goes in and changes their pending status to active, then that's when they would have the access.
So what we did on that, for the home page,
Mhm.
does that put our name on that list? Is that what it does?
Yes, and then that
Okay.
list is alphabetical order. First the local leagues, and then alphabetical order the states at the bottom.
Okay.
We're not able to intermix them.
You know, I want to, so I'm looking at Dave Abdallah, and I would not have on purpose said blocked. I would have made him inactive. Does it at some point change to blocked, or maybe I just clicked the wrong one?
It does not, but it is easy to choose between, like, to slip because they're so
Well,
close to each
Well,
other.
wait a minute. You
There's not an inactive.
don't have an inactive. There is
No,
no
inactive was
All right.
pending. I was
All right.
mixing
Thank
the
you.
terms.
That's important. Thank you.
Huh. So what do you say? You're going to make them block then if they?
I guess I don't like that word, but yeah.
Well, except they're blocked from the site,
Right.
from
for
the members only site.
Yeah, so
I think
guess
it makes
that's accurate.
sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Because good old Dave did not renew.
Darn it. And he's a councilman too.
I know.
But this whole, we've asked for this register to not be on the front page for people who don't have members only, because people will register, and if you don't have members only, it's really useless, and they think they're going to get access to something, or they should register. But that's been on the wish list for a couple of years, I think.
Well, we can do it individually. We have not yet gauged what the global reaction to that would be. Obviously we've started this way, and so a shift would need everybody involved. So if your league individually wants to turn that off, we can do that. Let's see if I can find one. I'm pretty sure Sussex County. Nope. I think that they have theirs turned off. No, I can't recall. But if it's turned off, then the tiniest blue ribbon is just across your entire site as you're traveling. You just won't see the login bar. So if that's what you're looking for, let us know and I can let you know what that entails.
I have another question.
Can I just comment on this particular thing? Thank you. So I'm wondering how possible, easy, and attractive it would be if you, like if somebody clicked register and they had no business registering, if you could just say, you must be a member of this individual league
Well, there's no way
to
of doing
register.
that.
Okay, I'm just saying. Sorry, I'm done.
It
Okay,
would
well,
have to be a global change. But go ahead, Liz.
well, I was just thinking about Maddie's situation. If we try to go to the Zoom session and somehow you don't see us, what's the best way to get your attention?
That is a good question. Yeah. I try to keep the list kind of close. I'm working on 2 monitors, so I try to keep it somewhere near my peripherals in the other screen. But I would say you could either email me, you could message the group. The message to the group will go to more than just me. But hey, if the email isn't catching my attention, that might work better.
How do you
I
message?
messaged to the author of that announcement for the meeting. Did you
I'm
see
so
that?
sorry.
Because I didn't have your number or anything like that to text.
No, and I should have gotten that back. You know what though? As the author, I think I wrote it from the group itself, but I should have received a forwarded email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't receive that. How funny. So maybe that reply to author is not as reliable. It should work because that typically would go to my Gmail, and my Gmail forwards to my alebron@lwvc.org. So I'm surprised I did not receive it. Is it in the junk?
I guess we kept you so busy you couldn't look at.
I guess I missed a really exciting first half hour.
I'm so sorry. Well, I'm definitely glad we record these now.
Exactly. I was
so-
going to say I'll just go back and listen to it
Yeah.
or watch it later. I went ahead and started watching the one from last week or last time since I missed it.
Oh, good. Yeah, those are available. And before we jump back into MyLO, I wanted to show off Creative Commons. We've gone over this before. It is a free free to use platform to search for media content, and it will let you choose from all these different channels essentially. Openverse, I think, is the default that it opens up to when you come here. So I'll drop it in the chat. Search.creativecommons.org is the website. And as you can see, I was already playing around with it. I put in California government as my terms. I had searched in Flickr. That was really cool. And I'll show you each one. So Openverse as the default. This, I believe, comes straight from Creative Commons. This is Openverse is directly from them. So I would imagine this is going to be probably a pretty large library. Like if we compare this to Flickr, Openverse is probably probably a bit bigger. So you can filter your search. By default, it always assumes that you are going to modify and use it commercially. So you can make some changes. You could specify exactly what kind of licenses you're looking for.
So are we allowed to use whatever images are on here?
You will need to, I mean, yes, but you will need to make sure you are aware of the licenses and what is needed to do
So
to
sometimes we'll
comply.
have to pay to use it. Is that it? Or
Um,
acknowledge or something? There's
these are usually going to be acknowledge. I don't think that these are to be paid. I think that is the point of Creative Commons. but you're going to have all of the necessary information. Let's see if I can find one that has like the most licenses on it. And let's just read up on what it says. So it tells you how to use it. It tells you the licenses. So it's pretty informative on how you need to treat and handle this image moving forward if you want to use it.
So if you clicked copy text, you'd get a picture, the picture with some kind of acknowledgement?
No, this is just the text of the credit. So get this image is where you download.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that. It's actually pulling from Flickr. So that's probably why Openverse is so large. It's pulling from multiple librries.
Yeah, but how would I acknowledge it?
So you'd have to copy this, and then either you can add this through a photo editor and add it onto the image itself, or in MyLO, just in the body of the text, add it in. However, you're looking to have it display essentially. But
Mary
for
Jo?
my own use, I typically like to, if I can, steer away from crediting,
Right.
because it just doesn't look good. So that's
Yeah.
the benefit of this search on Openverse. You can search for just public domain or CCO. Those are the ones that you don't have to credit. And then a thing to note too, their little icons and abbreviations are helpful too. By is the byline you have to credit, and the little person means that you have to credit them. So that's easy to note there. But Jennifer, I cut you off.
Oh, yes. Mary Jo, you sent me a private message with your phone number. Did you want it to go to Maddie or everybody?
Well, I mean, it's just the 8 of us, so I don't care. I mean,
Okay, well then but you sent it to me.
well,
because
I sent it to everybody on the group. I just sent it to chat.
Nobody else
No.
received it.
Nobody else received it. You sent it to me because I had sent you 2 messages volunteering to do something with.
Well,
the
I don't know.
memberships.
I don't know. I thought I just did something. So maybe I
Okay,
thought
I'm copying this so everyone knows this is not from me, it's from Mary Jo. Okay.
Oh, there it is. LYGGH. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I get it.
Okay,
Wasn't
thank
paying
you.
attention.
Oh, I didn't change my name, that's why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anne-Marie, ask one
Yes.
quick question. This ends at 4, right? Or at hour, at 1 your time?
Yes, when we typically go a little over if we're still dealing with questions, so no worries.
I think. So if I do a new draft and I decide, oh, actually, I don't want to do this right now, I don't see a way to like solve. I just have to like hit the button. Is that what I should be doing?
Yeah, definitely if you are starting a new draft and you say, I don't want to work on this anymore, just go back, or you can click on the league logo if it's showing up there. But the back button is reliable and it won't have saved that new draft.
Okay. And then one last question.
Sure.
So I don't know where this question came from. I was just asked by someone else in the league to ask this question. So they wanted to know if MyLO is going away. I guess there's some rumor that MyLO might be going away. And so they wanted me to ask about that.
Not that I know of. I hope not. No, we don't have any plans for it to go away. We are, we have dealt with what we have with National League bringing out websites, and then now we're going to see possibly a new transition. So MyLO has taken its hits, I guess you could say. So we are different than we were, but we are not having any plans to close down soon. So or any time. So we are making sure that the group that we have, we're holding on, and yeah, no, we're making sure to continue to chug along.
Okay.
It may have been mixed up with all the news, new technology news coming from National League.
Maybe. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
But in defense of National, I mean, one of the questions I think that came up from that first monthly what do they call it, appointment about their journey or something.
Mhm.
Somebody asked about MyLO, and basically they said it had nothing to do with MyLO.
Okay, yeah.
Although the new platform they did, it sounds like there might be at least a rudimentary webpage. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, an interesting one, but I would imagine it's going to be similar to how we had envisioned Club Express was, and how if anybody were a MyLO customer and were looking to Club Express, we knew that there was a way to make that work. And I'm imagining that the same stands true for the new platform, whether it be a web page that you're forwarding your donate or join buttons to, or maybe an embeddable form that you put directly onto your join or donate pages. Either way, we're pretty sure that it would be a solution that you could still make MyLO work if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, they don't really know what they're doing about donations. And
Okay.
it's caused a little consternation, because the people who have, give much more, like $150, they don't want a third of that going to the, national, and a third going, with the percentages. They mean for that to go to the local league if they pay more than, I mean, it's very crazy anyway.
It's definitely a lot worth talking about, because I know that a lot of local leagues are like with a lot of questions and a lot of confusion, and trying to get information up and down, I can't imagine has been easy.
There's a very good FAQ though.
Oh, good. Is that, and I imagine that's probably on their league management site, and then probably not too hard to find from there.
Yeah, I got it. If I have it, I'll put it in the Google groups.
Okay, good. Sandy, I see your hand.
I'll just make a comment. Remember about 6 or 8 months ago, you might have gotten an email about comparing MyLO and Club Express websites. Do you remember that? Okay, well, there was this session that was being offered by the Club Express people. And it was intended to answer and address the myths or something, I don't know, about Club Express. And because a lot of people, I think, thought that National was going to go to Club Express for membership, right? And so our treasurer, I guess, participated in this thing. And she's like, you know what? You get a website with this. I think we should just move over to Club Express. And I'm like, but I went to the thing, and you have to build an entirely new website. Well, but we might save like a couple $100. And I said, well, you might have to spend that on finding a webmaster. I'm not moving. So I said, this has taken me months to figure this out. I am not going to learn a new platform. So that kind of, nobody ever asked again.
Well, good. I'm glad you stood your ground, because
I was like, no.
Yeah, just the idea of learning a brand new platform. And then I know that many of them have to be happy where they're at, but I can't imagine how it might have felt for some of them when the National League announced that Club Express was not the way that they were going.
I'm sure.
So,
well, and then I also said, and I'm sure Club Express doesn't have the every other week wonderful help session.
Yep.
Where we can ask any question, and when we have a problem, like when I deleted a whole section of my website. I don't know if you remember that. You guys responded so quickly. And I said, I don't think any other platform would have that kind of excellent, amazing service. So we are I know I am so thankful for you and everything that you do for MyLO and the league. So
thank you. Well, I'm glad to help. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I am only but a connection between all of you and our tech team, but sometimes that is really what's needed to get the ball rolling. So thank you. Mary Jo.
Well, I forgot. I wanted to ask, did anybody end up having that message I got this morning? And what
Oh,
does it
thank you for
mean? The 10,
mentioning
was
it.
it 105?
It was a 502 that you had mentioned.
502. Thank you.
Anybody else receive that? I saw the 2 reports from the message, and sorry, I did not respond. But that
It's okay.
is on its way. Well, it is there waiting for our tech team to take a look at. I shared the timestamp that was
Okay.
from the message because you
Okay.
did say that you just received it.
Yeah,
So I
good.
let them know that that was
Okay. And
at
then it was
least a,
up within a half hour.
had you retried it a time or two after that?
Yeah, within a half hour it was back up.
Okay.
And I did answer that. Hopefully I answered it correctly. So you would know that it's up. It's
Oh,
up now.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if this is the time to ask, maybe I can ask it next time, but so maybe just think of some things. I currently do 2 newsletters. I do a voter that's, really league, stuff. And then I do another one for members and for our supporters. And it's stuff about citizenship and things that are going on in the neighborhood that would, help with DEI and all that stuff. Well, it's a bit much. And I'm just wondering, does anybody have like a blog on their website where, say you read about an interesting report and you just want to, post it somewhere? I put stuff on our front page and, articles, but I'm just wondering if anybody does anything like that. Complete silence.
What, is that a blog that any member could say something on, or just the
no, well,
board?
yes,
or-
I'm not using blog in the correct, no, it'd be mine and Jennifer's blog. If we wanted to post something that we thought was kind of neat,
Mhm.
and, people, but it's not pushed out, which of course is the beauty of a newsletter. But
Right.
I don't know. I just wondered if anybody, how about really neat stuff and you think, oh, it's not really for the voter, forget it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have some of that, like people post things on Facebook,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not on the
Well,
not on the
so
web.
Anne-Maurice, do you know anybody that does something like that? I mean, where would people put it?
As far as like a separate blog, I don't know of, but through
Well,
your
it could be like a
articles,
page, couldn't it? It could just be a separate page.
yeah. So what came
Yeah.
to mind was since we do have the built-in articles type that is
Yeah.
blog, you
Yeah.
can post them. They would feed into your articles page, but then
Right.
if you want to have them like in one place, create a page as you said, and then you can add the links there, like to the individual blogs to that page.
Yeah. Yeah, then maybe think of some fun title or something.
Yeah, and it could be like your, you know, that would be your blog series page where you could actually, as you post a new blog, not only could it be listed in your articles page, but then you go back to your blog series page and insert the link at the top there.
But there wouldn't be any easy way like calendar where it would just automatic. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Never mind.
There isn't. We
Yeah.
can build that up, but that would be a bit of an extra charge.
No. Yeah.
It isn't automatic.
Okay, you give me something to think about. Yeah,
Well,
like
you also have to think about random information or comments that people might put up there. You may want, sometimes it's better to have something where they can be submitted to you and then you can judge whether you want them
yeah,
to.
no, I wouldn't even call it a blog because it wouldn't be really something that everybody could add to. It's just I'm thinking, if I just stopped doing the second newsletter and just posted something on the website, I don't know. And then anytime there was an actual event going on, then I could send that out, through Constant Contact or something. I don't know.
Yeah, trying to figure out a way to cut
Yeah.
down the communication if you don't need. Yeah, definitely play around with the idea of using the blog, or even if you don't want them to show up in your articles list, then add them as separate pages, and then you have the control of how and where you want them to display.
Yeah, thank you.
Mary Jo's going to be giving a demonstration on constant contact with the state this next week.
Well, I don't know, it's the 20th, I think, but I mean, yeah, and I told the person, well, I told the person in charge, I said, look, if people sign up for constant contact, they learn how to do it. And she said, yeah, but yours is kind of special because I use a lot of pictures and stuff, you know, so I guess that's what I'm supposed to be showing, but I am so not Miss Technology, so.
I think that is probably what a lot of people will be happy about, because you're
Right.
not going to be like jargon this and jargon that, and oh, let me just swing through all of this, breeze through it like
Definitely
nothing.
not. And
So that's
I'll
good.
intercept things about MyLO too. Like, you know, usually, you know, I'll put this in MyLO, which is a great, you know, website. And then I'll, you know, also put it in the newsletters, you know, stuff like that.
I appreciate it.
Little plug.
Always love a good plug. All right, folks. Any last minute question? All right, hearing nothing. I think we're all set for today's
I'll send you an
session.
email. I'm still struggling with that.
Oh yeah, we can stick around, Mike, if you'd like.
Okay, fine.
All right, folks. So
I've
the
got
next
time.
Thank you.